This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, starting at verse 1. And it reads, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyam, by Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash Brakatham. I'm going to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. I'm going to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim and the Aquat that they're listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh South part of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And basically, that's what the men of the Lord are commanded to do. You know, if you're a prophet of the Lord prophesies, and he's prophesying to the people. So our jobs as, you know, that's the spirit, because the elder apostle Aramla been going in on, you know, prophets, you know, a lot of a prophet. And you see how it's worded. It says, which the Lord gonna put the words in our mouths. You know, the words that we speak, these are the Lord's words, you know. So, you know, I saw this article and it caught my attention. And it's prophecy, because, you know, prophecy is basically pro, before, facade, meaning to say. So we speaking or saying things before they take place, you know, because these things were all written in, you know, the book that has no mate, you know, Isaiah chapter 34. You know, there's no book like the Bible, you know, which is our holy book. But you know, what's that? Jeremiah chapter 28 says, the prophets before me prophesied war, famines, pestilence. You know, they prophesied those things before they took place. So scriptures talk about there will be wars, famines, pestilences, and, you know, a lack of work, you know. So, with that being said, you know, because this article, what's going on? It's weird. Look at this. How deep is that? Slovakia. So, this article is going to affect, you know, this whole world. Because, you know, I was following this one economist. He was going into, that's how I even came across this information, you know, but it has to deal with our supply chain, you know, how goods are moved and shipped throughout the world. And if the supply chain is disrupted, that will either have a lack of these items, or you will pay a lot more for these items. So it says, shipping giant laying off 10,000 as pandemic boom turns to bust. It says London shipping giant Maersk is laying off thousands more workers as weak demand and lower freight prices plummet its revenues. A sign the pandemic-driven boom in shipping is turning to bust. Remember at one point in time where, you know, you had the different L downs, if you can keep, or you can keep up with, I mean, you know, if you can understand the L, because you got to be very careful of what you say and how you say it, you know. Like these fucking devils keep on removing videos of mine, but they ain't giving me no strike. You know what I mean? That's how you know they butt hurt. You know what I mean? Like, that's funny. Like, I mean, they just you know, that's how you know this is the truth. You know, if they show you how you also know how we're going into censorship. You know, and when you basically don't have the freedom of speech, then how the fuck are you free? So the L downs that happened with that whole P Dizzy, you know, the cost of goods skyrocketed. A lot of these companies made money, you know what I mean? But now showing you the state of the economies, now that all that is no longer the case, you know, these companies are not profiting like they once were, you know. And when economies, you know, downshift like that, these devils look to start wars, you know, which officially, I was watching a Canadian prepper, and I guess they're trying to pass a bill 559, where I guess they're trying to go in, you know, the Middle East. So if they pass this bill, officially, I think they're gonna go to war. So anyhow, it says shipping giant Maersk is laying off thousands more workers as weak demand and lower freight prices plummet its revenues. A sign the pandemic-driven boom in shipping is turning to bust. One of the world's biggest shipping firms said in third quarter results Friday that its revenues had almost halved to $12 billion compared with the same period last year. The Danish company has cut around 6,500 jobs this year as it grapples with challenging market conditions. It revealed it plans to axe another 3,500, with most of those layoffs coming in the next 8 weeks. And that's spiritual because, you know, you're coming into this holiday season, you know, where people spend a lot of money. Well, this year, a lot of people getting laid off and losing their jobs at a time, you know, when the economy is not already not doing well. You know, recently I just lost my job. Show you how cold the Lord is too, because I'm thinking I'm about to get hired in. I mean, that's how I know it's the Lord, though. I'm not even really frustrated or mad, you know, the timing of it, but, you know, everything is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But, you know, I was in good with the union steward, and, you know, man, and, you know, I just knew I had the job. I mean, like, she's saying I got the job. And in actuality, the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I didn't have the job. So, yeah, shit getting serious. But it says the combined cuts will reduce the company's workforce to below 100,000. So, you know, they laid off pretty much like 10% of they, well, I can't say how many percent it was because they said now it would be 100,000. You know, our industry is facing a new normal with subdued demand, prices back in line with historical levels, and inflationary pressures on our cost base. And that's two, you know, situations that's mentioned in the scriptures. There's going to be a lack of jobs, and we're going to deal with inflation. In fact, the inflation is going to get so rampant and out of control. I believe, speaking as a man, I believe that that's going to be one of the reasons why they're going to have to come in and implement this new system. You know, they pretty much got it already in place. You know what I mean? They talking about next year, you got banks that's going to be completely cashless. Banks. Start next year. I believe Citi is one of the banks. But so scripture talks about how lucky. There's going to be a lack of jobs. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, start at verse 1, and it reads, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Verse 2, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." Verse 3, "In a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble," and the keepers of the house are these economists, and they're trembling because they see, you know, the forecast of this place. They see that this place is going down. You know what I mean? Again, I've been following like 4 different economists, and, you know, I don't know who has got the numbers talk about soft landing and, you know, the economy's doing well. I don't know who. That's how. But you got to remember, some people just like you don't know if the government pay off some of these people to say some of the bullshit they saying. You know, you got different people like Peter Schiff and you know, Robert Kiyosaki. You know, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that literally tell you like this economy is over with. You know, he like it's all bust. It's fucked up. And like I said, the guys I'm listening to pretty much saying it, but then you got these guys that's, you know, on the news, these talking heads that's talking about how the economy's doing well and all that old shit. You know, you got to understand they manipulate the numbers of a lot of different things. You know, like one of the economists was saying, okay, say for instance, you did create 50,000 new jobs. If they part-time jobs, they're not even full-time jobs, and then you lost like I say, a job that, because you got companies laying off 10, like they were saying in the banking industry alone, all combined, they pretty much quietly laid off like 20,000 people. I think it was who was it? J.P. Morgan just let go of. No, it wasn't J.P. Morgan. It was it's on the tip of my tongue. Well, one of these banks, Schwab, Charles Schwab, laid off 2,000 people secretly, quietly. So again, you got these different CEOs like Jamie Dimon that for JP Morgan, the CEO of JP Morgan, he literally just sold like 1 million shares. If the economy was doing so well, why would they be doing this? It says, and the strong men shall bow themselves and the grinders cease. So the grinders going into the jobs, the employment, because they are few. There's going to be few jobs out here. That's why they're going into automation. And, you got to understand this fourth industrial revolution is going to be artificial intelligence driven, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And these economists are looking out the window and they see there's no future in this place. You even got some that think, like, because you got, some of these guys that I listen to, like John Williams, like, even though he see it's bleak, he's still thinking that you can manipulate or you could do this, do that, you know what I mean? Showing you that they don't really have no true understanding of the scriptures. He probably don't even believe in the scriptures. Not once have I heard him make mention of anything. Not once have I heard him say anything biblical, So, but the thing is, no matter how you financially prepare, if the Lord's not with you, it don't fucking matter. You know what I mean? It's more important to lay up your treasures in heaven than to try to, because scriptures say, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man and make of flesh his arm." I mean, I think I might have butchered it. But you trusting in your own self, trusting in another man. Ultimately you're supposed to be trusting in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because the same power that can deliver you from it is the same power that's bringing this. Verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And we know that music right now is at an all-time low. Then when you go into the book of Revelation chapter 6, when it's verse 6, and it reads, Revelation 6:6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So when you go into that word penny, is denarius, which basically was the it was the day's payment for a Roman centurion or Roman soldier, not a centurion, a Roman soldier, Salakia. So, the denarius was what he'd get paid in one day's work. So it's saying that a measure of wheat for a penny, basically breaking down to, it's going to cost a day's wage to buy a loaf of bread, and that's your inflation. You got other, accounts of when it was inflation in the scriptures, like 2 Kings, I believe, chapter 6, when they were selling dove's dung and all that, And then you had the situation where you had the two mothers plot and agree to, basically eat their children. That's how bad the inflation got. You got to remember, life is a series of time, of things being repeated. If it was inflation in the past, it's going to be inflation now because of the way the system is created. It's set up. Because this money is not really true money. What they use to measure. So, that's pretty much, I might bring a little bit more of the article out, because at the end of the day, you're going to see more and more of these companies lay off. I noticed the term that's been used a lot is, a lot of these companies are restructuring because of the economy, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, again, at a state of war as well, like, yeah, like a lot of people, again, haven't struggled, like literally, haven't been through anything. I was just listening to the elder Apostle Ramla make that statement. You got people that ain't been through nothing. You know what I mean? You don't even know what you capable of or what you can deal with if you ain't never been through shit. Why another man would be quick to judge another man, but you ain't even like looked at his shoes, let alone stood in them. It says the company posted a record annual profit last year, but has warned for months that the spike in shipping prices it enjoyed when economies reopened from pandemic lockdowns, releasing a wave of pent-up demand for goods could not last. The composite cost of shipping a 40-foot container on 8 major global routes stood at $1,406 this week, according to London-based Drewry Shipping. That's 54% below its level during the same week in 2022. Yeah, because they was talking about when they had all those shipping containers just sitting around at the different ports because the supply chain was fucked up. So they was talking about how it was costing some shipping containers to be costing 10, 15,000 to be shipped. But now they said everything's slowing down, and when when the economy slows down, the economy is the lifeblood of a country, a nation. You know, how their money is going. Like right now, America's money's fucked up. Russia and even China to a degree ain't as fucked up as people think because China possesses gold. Russia economy is actually booming. If you didn't know that, you know what I mean. So, the scriptures talk about pride come before for fall. So you know what I mean. These devils, you heard that Joe Busy said America, the greatest country on earth. He said we could deal with China and Russia simultaneously. We shall see. It says the company's shares sank as much as 12.5% in early trade Friday, extending those losses later to trade down 17.2%. That's not good. Making me think of Genesis chapter 47, talking about 47 and what's that, 15, when it says, and Egypt, the money failed. This whole stock market is this, when that thing crashes, the money has failed. So this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 7. I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua came unto me, saying, Also thou son of man, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power unto the land of Israel, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will just send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. Verse 4, And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Verse 5, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. You got two major crises happening simultaneously at the same time, pretty much. Like I said again, you got the supply chains all fucked up, which is going to affect, again, this is a major shipping company. So, like I said, these people move goods around the earth. You know what I mean? So, when things are, it's supply and demand. When things are in small or short supply, that makes them more expensive. So at a time when people are already struggling financially, it says, so only evil is coming, you know what I mean? Verse 6, the end is come, if watcher for thee, behold, it is come, and we pretty much at the end. We about to watch this system and this place is going it's going to end in our lifetime. And if you can't see it, then the Lord ain't dealing with you. The Lord got you set up for some kind of judgment because he's not even making you aware of what's about to take place. You ain't even being warned. Skipping to verse 25. I'm going to start at verse 14. They have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. And we out here blowing the trumpet, trying to warn our people. But, scriptures say, 2/3 ain't going to return. The Lord has blinded them. Verse 5, the sword is without, and the pestilence, and the famine within. You know, this could be the onstart of a famine. You know, they were just talking about how I think sugar is about to be more expensive because you had a lot of sugar that I want to say I think it's Louisiana, one of those southern states, pretty much like deals with a lot of sugar, and they was talking about like this holiday season because you know you be having bad seasons of planting with crops. You know, you have floods, all kind of things that happen that destroy the crops, and I know sugar is supposed to be in high demand this year because it's in short supply. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Skipping to verse 25, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Ain't gonna be no peace because the Lord, we in a time of war and destruction. You know what I mean? You know, it's times and seasons for all things. You know, and we coming into the time of the Lord's judgment. Scriptures talk about the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua visiting the earth. You know, and how's he visiting it? By the different plagues and prophecies. You know, all these different things that's written thereof in the scriptures is the way the Lord's visiting the earth. You know, and we know these things will come to pass because they're written thereof. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, and the point is verse 11. So shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So all these things that are written in the scriptures that the Most High said was going to take place are all going to take place. We're witnessing them take place now, and they're going to take place from the sea hip, you know, that mark to, you know, concentration camps to, you know what I mean? Shit, I just did a video about, you know, Second Ezra talks about a man should have desire to go into a city and will not be able. You know, they talking about how you got 1,000 Americans stranded in Gaza because they won't, whoever has control of that land will not allow them to leave. Prophecy is being fulfilled, you know, and scriptures talk about manifest. What's that, Second Ezra chapter 9? The end is manifest. Well, we see in the end because it's evident, it's clear, it can be clearly seen. So once you can clearly see it, you cannot deny it. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Kol Loyam, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kodash Bakatham. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua thought they listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. See you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Say shalom, shalom. Wath lababah, shalom.